Hi, and thanks for watching. Now, if you're a dancer or a gymnast and you have been or are on the verge of illness, injury, or burnout, then you might want to consider the internal styles of martial arts, specifically Chen style Taiji or Bagua. Why? Because these are practices that still have a complexity, a physicality, and an expressiveness, but they're based on a training method that emphasizes building health and resilience as opposed to pushing yourself beyond your limits. So what does this look like? What does this mean? Let's go through just a few examples, talking about first Chen style Tai Chi. Chen style Tai Chi, first of all, there's lots of different styles of Tai Chi out there. Chen style is the one that emphasizes a bit more this alternating between slow and fast, soft postures and hard postures, the dynamic transition between them, and also the movements tend to be a little more intricate, a little more complicated. So let's take a look at what that Chen style Tai Chi looks like. So it has that dynamic moving quality. Of course, it is still a martial tradition, so there's an emphasis on things like stability, on rootedness, on the transfer of power through the body. But also when we think about the broader context of martial arts, it's about conflict resolutions. And this is not just external conflict, this is also internal conflict where the opponent might be yourself, and how to resolve that is part of the whole philosophy and approach and training method. The other example that I wanted to give you a sense of is Bagua, also a Chinese internal style of martial art. It's probably the martial art that looks the least like a martial art. Most of the training is done walking in a circle, and then there's little routines that go through a series of postures or movements to get you to turn around and go in the other direction. It's characterized by having very dynamic, coiling, turning, spinning kinds of movements to it. So let's take a look at that as well. So these two martial traditions, they're not the only ones within the internal styles, but they are two practices which does have these sort of more dynamic, intricate sorts of movements to them, and some qualities that expand them beyond just a lot of the more direct forms, movements that come in other styles of martial arts. The other thing I wanted to point out or emphasize is that within these styles, there's still a high standard in terms of precision, in terms of accuracy, in terms of athleticism, that many people tend to not recognize or not realize that it is part of these traditions. And so if that piece is an important part of why you're attracted to movement, it's important to understand that these are also part of these practices as well. The distinction, though, is that the expectations that are coming in these practices, they don't come from a judge, they don't come from a competition, They're not coming from a choreographer or from an audience. The standards to meet, the standards to grow beyond, are the ones that come from yourself. And so the movements are done to invest in yourself as opposed to these external things, which I think is one of the important and crucial distinctions between these practices and other sports, and by itself or in combination, just might prolong and preserve your training career. So I hope this information is useful. I hope it's helpful. Keep training, keep learning, and take care.